This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or Iglesianicristo.
Welcome to Diner Talk, where the coffee is always brewing and everyone has a seat at the table. Whether you're sliding into the booth for a quick bite or staying for the full course, we're glad you're here. This show serves up real talk about life, faith, and the flavor of life, the sweet, the salty, and everything in between. So pull up a chair, grab a fork, and let's dig in. Because the best conversations are always made to order here at the diner.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Diner Talks, where we have conversations worth staying for. So grab a seat, maybe your favorite mug and some coffee, or tea if you like. Our table is set. Let's enjoy bite-sized talks with big flavors. For today's conversation, joining me today is Mama Karen. So Mama K, say hi.
Hi.
All right, Mama Karen, and viewers and listeners near and far, did you know there's a nation that millions, maybe tens of millions people visit every day, and you don't even need a passport? You know what that nation is, Mama K?
I have no idea. What nation is that?
It is procrastination. Now that might not be somewhere that you want to be. So, Mama Karen, I think we just jump right into it. So, would you be able to introduce our topic for today?
Yes. So how about we take a journey to that village, procrastination. Today we're going to be talking about it. We'll tackle something that almost everyone experience and struggle with. That's procrastination. It's not laziness. It's not a lack of ambition, but sometimes the brain tends to get a little delayed in the matters that matter, and those things that matters the most. So we'll discuss that today. Procrastination.
All right, and mentioning as Christians, as people of faith, when we understand the emotional causes behind procrastination, which is not getting to do the things that you need to do that you really need to, at times we can feel anxiety. We might not do the things that we need to do when we need to get them done, and then we're running late and we getting anxious and then affect others. When we surrender to that anxiety and let God act in faith, instead of waiting for the perfect conditions, when we use wise tools that God gives us to manage our time, for example, like the Pomodoro style, which we'll talk about in a bit, we honor our Almighty God through diligence, courage, and taking care of our responsibilities, and just putting works into that faith. Now, what is procrastination and what are the causes? Joining me and Mama Karen today is also Leah. So Leah, how's it going? And what causes procrastination?
Oh, you mean personally in my life, what causes procrastination? That's a good one. It's like, I'm going to procrastinate my answer a little bit. I'm getting like sweaty palms. Things that stop me from getting started on a difficult task might be because I'm tired. Sometimes I don't have the energy depending on what time of the day. If I'm usually a morning person, but if I have a very long day, lots of emotionally draining or energy draining activities, when I get towards the evening, I might need a nap before I can pick up and tackle something. Yeah, I start to slow down a little bit, so I try to do all my important work in the morning first thing.
So it's an energy thing for you. Now, Mama Karen, how about you? When you procrastinate, because I know you're a mover, but when you do procrastinate, what do you think causes it?
I think for me, it's similar to Leah, energy. do I have enough energy to tackle this task, and how long is this task going to take me? Sometimes I say, oh no, let me just put it off because I don't have the energy to do it right now. And like Leah, sometimes I need a nap. Sometimes I think that nap is going to really help me. But other times it's like, no, I still don't have the energy to quite, tackle it. It's more so sit down things that kind of like I procrastinate on those more. Things that I'm moving around with, I could do those things a lot quicker, and have a lot more energy to do those. But sitting kind of makes me tired, believe it or not.
Oh,
What about you, Jeff?
I believe that too. Now, there are some other reasons why we might procrastinate. Actually, Team Live Chat, shout out to you. If you can let us know, A, do you ever procrastinate? And then B, when you do procrastinate, why? Let us know what your causes for procrastination are, what affects your procrastination. Now, some other things that could affect procrastination are emotional avoidance. Maybe you get distracted. Maybe you're stressed out. Maybe you're bored. That's one. Like when you're doing paperwork.
You mean you don't love math? you don't love cleaning and pairing socks?
Or taxes.
Oh, I love doing taxes. That's my favorite. It comes, one part of the year. It's a special occasion in our lives.
Right. So yeah, there might be an aversion to that. So it might be emotional avoidance. Next would be perfectionism and anxiety. Now, this is where I fall in terms of procrastination. Fear that the output won't be perfect. That if I spend more time planning, making sure that everything's right, that whole paralysis by analysis thing. Perfectionism definitely affects procrastination, especially for me. Next are cognitive distortions, overestimating your motivation to do it. If I do it later, I'll be more motivated. Or I work better under pressure. That's kind of like a lie some of us tell ourselves. Or you can also say, it's only going to take 5 minutes. It don't take 5 minutes. Okay.
It doesn't. When you tell yourself only 5 minutes, next thing you know, it's like, why didn't I start this earlier? I'm running out of time.
That's how I feel like it's a pitfall of taking a nap. It's like, oh, am I really going to get up if I take a 15-minute nap? It's like 2 hours later.
Oh,
and then you're even more tired.
Or it's tomorrow. Oh no, I woke up and it's tomorrow. I guess I'm not doing that thing.
Oh yeah, and it could be both. That causes both. You're even more tired, and you're also more stressed out because you need to get it done within a certain amount of time. So yeah, that's a cognitive distortion. Next is task averseness. The task is unpleasant. Once again, who likes doing math? Who likes doing taxes? Who likes doing paperwork? I don't want to do it.
Anything that smells funny, I have to say, will cause an aversion. If it smells funny, whatever that task is. I'm sorry, Jeff. I know you have a newborn.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other thing too. Like, should we change the diaper? They might still go. I don't want to do it. Yeah.
No, change the diaper. Your daughter will be happier and healthier.
Right. Yeah. And then one. And also one last factor, and actually, Mama Kay, I'll ask you because you mentioned a good one during in pre-prod. But one last one is it also procrastination could also be something physiological. Now, once again, I'm not a physician. I'm not in healthcare, but in our research for this topic, you might have ADHD, or there might be something in the brain that seeks immediate gratification over long-term rewards, or just something else that's another physiological factor that kind of causes you to procrastinate. And Mama Kay, turn it over to you. There's one word that you did mention in terms of like being in flow, and in terms of having that energy that also might be a factor in terms of procrastination. So can you mention that? And then also our next question.
Inertia. It's like, when you start, that's how I feel sometimes. If I stop and I'm sitting, I feel like it takes me a minute to get the flow going. And once I got it going, I have to keep going, because once I stop, it's like, that's it. So if you see me moving and never sitting, that's because I have inertia, and I need to get it done. I need to keep moving. So what are some real life examples when people procrastinate? What are some common distractions? More so like that parents go through, maybe children, maybe college students, even in your work life? What are some common distractions? I mean, I'll start. I know with like a lot of times with my grandchildren and when they're over and I ask them to do something like, clean the room back up, you messed it up. I can tell when they've been there, it's a mess. So go clean the room up. It's like, okay, I'm going, but they're on their gadgets. And it's like they really don't want to tear away from their gadgets, or they're playing with some of their friends and they don't want to tear that stuff away. So it's like, no, you have to put that down now. Go do what you're doing. Then you can always get back to it. What about you guys? What about our YouTube audience and our panel? Let's start with our panel.
For me, a real life example, and I was thinking about this, Jeff, when you mentioned physiological conditions. I'm also not a medical person, but I experience decision fatigue almost every day when I'm in the office. I have a client-facing job, so there's a surprise around every corner. Every hour, there's something new so by the time I have to get to the things that I need to, I feel like I'm overwhelmed and I'm out of energy. So, so it helps me to write things down, but I don't know if that's a distraction, a physical thing, or I don't know how to build. Maybe someone can help us build up our decision jar, make it a little bigger.
Actually, that's something that I do professionally, because we develop AI tools to mitigate and handle that cognitive load. Cognitive load is a big thing where you get that decision fatigue, and it helps you with the.
Is AI the answer? Like we need to have a show for that one too. Is AI the answer?
Tune in. Okay, so if I can jump right into it, one of the techniques that you'll see in the announcement of the show today, and also in our thumbnail, is called the Pomodoro style. Now, what does Pomodoro mean? It actually means this thing. It's a tomato. And it's based on tomatoes. No, it isn't. Okay. The Pomodoro Technique was developed in the late 1980s by Francesco Cirillo, a productivity expert. And how it works is, you break your task up into work for 25 minutes, and then you take a 5-minute break. You work for another 25 minutes, and you take another 5-minute break. And after 4 cycles, which is about 2 hours, you give yourself a little bit longer break, because, studies have shown that some people need those structured breaks to improve sustained attention. It'll also reduce that mental fatigue, Leah, like you mentioned. And small actions increase motivation after initiation. That's a big way of saying just break it up into pieces. As a mathematician, that's how you solve the bigger problems, or as someone who's, written stories, and Karen, I'll go to you. The way that you write is word by word. Isn't that right, Karen?
Exactly. Once that flow gets to going, you word one step at a time. I know I had a neighbor who retired, and she was like, she was upset that her son wouldn't clean the front room. It's a lot of stuff. She said that they had boxes and stuff in there. And so, and I was like, well, you're retired now, so you can take it one day at a time. Just do a little at a time. And, she said, that's a great idea. So I guess that would be the Pomodoro technique.
Yeah.
You're not you're doing a day at a time, or, a little at a time. So it's the same thing, I guess.
Yep. And it is structuring it even on the hourly or by minute level, because it's 25 minutes of deep work, not distracted work. It's not 25 minutes of, yes, I'll get to it, and then let me get my phone, let me watch YouTube, although you can watch INCRadio New Jersey while you're doing it. Yeah. But yeah, it's not that distracted work. It's 25 minutes of not distracted, dedicated work, and then you reward yourself with a 5-minute break, and then you go again. It's a cycle. You work for 25 minutes, and then break for 5 minutes, work for 25, and then after 4 cycles, I believe you give yourself a 15 to a half-hour break, and then you get back on it. So yeah, Mama Kay, I think you have our next question.
Yes. So have you tried this method? Have you tried it, and did it work for you? And then also explain why or why not, why it didn't work for you.
So I'm going to jump in. I actually started using the Pomodoro technique during the pandemic. being at home, working from life was at home. So everything was at home. So I actually tried this, but I also added mirroring to it. And mirroring basically is having someone there with you. Well, it was on screen, of course, because no one else outside of my family was in my apartment. So we would set a time and we would continue working. So it was very helpful to keep me on track rather than picking up my phone or, getting lost in the scroll, to stay on task to get my work done. So that is very helpful for me. And naturally, I feel like after being out in the office, every hour I try to take a walk around or a stretch break. So it's usually at the half hour mark, so about 25 to 30 minutes that I'll feel that itch to get up and do something. So it does work for me. If I'm not overwhelmed with other things. My watch also reminds me to take a break. It tells me when I need to go take a walk. So it vibrates.
But you also mentioned mirroring. I believe study has shown that if you have someone that's working along with you, like when you're exercising, if you have somebody, you're holding each other accountable for these things. So it kind of, keeps you away from procrastinating, because someone is holding you accountable and you're holding them accountable. So I think mirroring is a good technique also. Yeah. What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I actually haven't tried it before. I've heard about it, but I procrastinated about using the Pomodoro method. I've told myself I'd try it in the past, but then same thing too. I will get into that inertia or, that state of, okay, I'll try to do it, but then, it does take a certain amount of discipline, which is also where the accountability does come in. So no, I have not used it before. Mama Karen, how about you? Have you tried the Pomodoro method before?
I didn't even know it had a name, but no, I've never, no. Because like I say, once I start, I have to complete that task because I can't get back on track to do it again. I'm too distracted. There's too many distractions around. So once I'm focused on something, I have to complete it, or it will be a while before they get done because I will get distracted and get into something else. You should see my house, like one room's cleaned real good. I have one window washed in one room, another one. So it's like, I have to keep going. If I don't keep going, so it wouldn't work for me. Not in, a sense of the things that I do, maybe doing computer work, sitting down, because I can't sit long. So it may work for that, but no, I haven't really tried it.
Okay, so viewers and listeners, you got it. You have a yes, you have a no, and you have a, I'm gonna try it out. So the question is, would you try this in the future? Leah, will you continue to use the Pomodoro method?
I think I will, Jeff, because I have a lot to do. And if you're below, like the task is after my number 5 to do, it usually doesn't get done, to be honest. Because it's like, oh, I got 5, I'm good. My list might be, 20 items long for the day. I'm like, oh, well, I got 5 done, so I'm good. But yeah, no, it is definitely motivating. And I know we're going to talk about it in our next segment because we have to move on. My alarm just went off, Jeff.
Yeah, it wasn't quite a Pomodoro. We're at the 20-minute mark for today's show.
We're a little early.
It's all good. All good. Okay, now, and one last thing to talk about in terms of the Pomodoro method and procrastinating and, not getting things started. There is a great quote by someone who isn't quite a king, but his last name is King, and he's famous for being a writer and getting things done and getting a lot of stuff done. And this is from Stephen King. The scariest moment is always just before you start. After that, things can only get better. And, that keeps you from procrastinating. So don't visit procrastination. Visit your friendly Pomodoro. Okay, let's get to our next segment, which is, since we are Diner Talks, we like to have our eggs, and sometimes you want your eggs over easy. And this is Life Over Easy. We got some life hacks for you. So, Quitty Tech, just checking. Do we have that bumper?
Life Over Easy. Hacks made simple and smooth.
All right. Just like those eggs, you want your life to be easy and smooth. And some ways to smooth out procrastination are, I think, Leah, we'll toss it to you first because there's one that's super simple.
Uh-oh. Oh, okay. So we're going to show you something. Everyone take out your phone, and I'm sure you're familiar with it. Mine's already on, so I hope you can see. We're going to turn on that's not it. It's airplane mode. I lost my screen. This is also what happens when you're live. Yeah, airplane mode and silent. So the thing that looks like a plane, make sure it's checked off. So while you are working, put on airplane mode. You're not going to get any alerts or notifications. And then silent, the button right on. This is on an iPhone. Jeff, I think you have yours up.
Yep. Yes, I have Android. Once again, not sponsoring, but you just
It's whatever you have.
yeah, it's whatever you got. So you pull it down. Okay. And then you see over here, looks like an airplane, which is sometimes where you want to be. Put on airplane mode. And maybe you're going to feel like you're on an airplane.
Yeah, except I know for our parents out there or those who need to be contacted, we recommend not airplane mode because then you won't get anything, but we recommend the notification muting your notifications for the time that you're working. So, and I think we have something else, Jeff, right? You have another life hack app for us.
Yes, we do. So if you are also one of the, us techie kind of people, you can get an app to do the Pomodoro method. And there are several. Here's one that just we downloaded for the show. And it is very simple, distraction free. It is a timer. Okay. And then you just click on that. And it gives you your 25-minute Pomodoro. And it will let you know when this is done. And then let you take a 5-minute break. And then you can start the cycle all over again. And then there's one last life hack in terms of avoiding procrastination, which is batching. You do want to be focused on your work, but if there are other things that you can do at the same time, for example, an example of batching is, when you get your car serviced, you get those, the report and everything, or maybe even when you go to the doctor, and sometimes those things will go all over the place. For me, I keep a binder in the back of my car where immediately after my car gets serviced, I'll put it in there so it batches those two tasks together. It's not quite a Pomodoro, but it's a way to get things done without letting things continue to pile up.
Batching is also great for preparing your meals for the week if you pack lunch, right? Do it all in one big, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It helps with efficiency. All right, now we'll move on to our next segment where we're going to talk about the cream of the crop. Let's talk about our shout outs, starting with our panel members. So, Leigh, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I have a quick one. So thank you, Diner Talks, for letting me talk about how stressful my work life is. I'm just kidding. But my shout out is to my one of my brothers, Abel Fajardo, over there in Bayonne. Belated happy birthday. That's it.
Awesome. How about you, Mama Karen?
Okay, my shout outs is to my local of Philadelphia and to the district and all the district ministers shouting out. Happy Saturday.
All right. Happy Saturday. And check in now. We have Brother Jerome Alagai saying, good morning. One tip, move yourself to start a task early and accomplish smaller, easier tasks first. Marisol says, unpopular opinion, but I get more things done when I procrastinate. Sometimes you feel like that. Okay, Jayster over from Washington, D.C. When I have too many tasks, I procrastinate. I'm with you on that, bro. Wing Nike. So we have Jennifer Trinidad over on the West Coast. I procrastinate because there is so much to do, and sometimes I have a hard time prioritizing. Flo Alejandro, another one of our neighbors, and check them out later today, this afternoon, watching Vancouver, District of Oregon. And Brother Jerome Alagai also says the Pomodoro is helpful, so he is a fan of the Pomodoro. And Abe Evangelista says, depending on my workload, one technique I like is the 5 minutes rule. If I'm not pressed and the task will take 5 minutes or less, I just do it. And Brother Jerome Alagai also, he's love you, bro. You've got so much advice on this. When my timer goes off, it covers my whole screen, so I feel more motivated to pause and take a break, and you can't get distracted if it's taking up the whole screen. All right, and we got my shout out. So shouting out some family over in Bulacan, Philippines. Happy birthday to MJ Lucas. Happy birthday to Bergen's own EJ de Guzman. Happy birthday also to Dino Rosa from Arizona. And thanks to Dino and Nita for visiting. Happy birthday also to Men Guevara, Roy Cedric Antonio, Michael Tordillo, Ray Santos, Mark Susi, Elsie Meneses, and shout out to all those losing an hour of sleep because, hate to admit it,
Is that a
daylight
shout out,
savings
Jeff?
time.
Is that Is that really
Yeah.
thought out? We're losing an hour of sleep, but we're getting more sunlight. So I'm excited for more sunlight. But we have to actually officially say what is the thing that's happening to our lives tomorrow?
Okay, so happening overnight tonight, you will be losing an hour of sleep. Daylight savings time begins tonight. So advance your clocks 1 hour ahead before you go to sleep. All right. Next, we have our catch up. Over to you, Mama Kay.
All right, now it's time for the weekly catch up. Let's see that video.
The weekly catch up.
The brethren in the various local congregations of the Church of Christ in the District of New Jersey held Bible study missions and Friday youth missions last week. The brethren, along with their guests, gathered, united in faith, and eager to explore Scripture and to strengthen their relationship with God. Activities like this nurture the faith of the brethren and help the church spread God's words to others. The Church of Christ in the District of New Jersey hosted a combined gathering last Sunday, bringing together deacons and deaconesses for a special worship service and the official oath-taking of new officers. The evening featured heartfelt hymns, prayer, and a strong sense of community as the congregation came together to reaffirm their faith and remember their duties. The oath-taking was a meaningful moment, with new officers pledging to serve and the congregation welcoming them warmly. It served as a powerful reminder of the importance of service, leadership, and community. Led by District Minister Brother Alan Fernandez, the brethren in the District of New Jersey remain united in all activities initiated by the church administration. From the District of New Jersey, this is Sister Marisol Dagoton. This has been our weekly update, keeping us connected 1 week at a time. Until the next report.
And that's it for today's show. Thank you to everyone who tuned into today's show. Procrastination isn't about being lazy. It's about managing emotion, attention, and energy. The Pomodoro Technique works because it respects how the brain actually functions. So start small, stay constant, and remember, moments beat motivation.
And before we go, we'd like to thank our church administration for the continuous support to INC Radio and allowing us to have the show where we can stay connected and learn together. We thank our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo Manalo, and our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Manalo.
Next, we'd like to thank our District Supervisor Minister, Brother Alan P. Fernandez, our Assistant District Supervisor Minister, Brother Ruben Busto Jr., and our Christian Family Organization Overseer, Brother Royal Milan, and our District Multimedia Advisor, Brother James Malabana.
We'd also like to thank our INC Radio Station Manager, Brother Wally Taray, and our Executive Producer, Brother Emmanuel Andaya. Before we say goodbye, we thank again all our viewers and listeners for near and far taking the time to watch Diner Talks. We are signing off for now. Until next time, same diner, new vibes. See you next week.